Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So that is it. Spain beat Argentina 1-0 in the extra time. A goal in 106 minutes by Ferran Torres. Spain are the world champion for the second time. Messi didn't get his fairy tale and the World Cup's done. 12 Manchester United players went to this tournament across 9 different countries. One of them played in the final and some of them didn't play a single minute, not even a second for the entire tournament. So today, in this video, I will rate every single United players that played in this World Cup. Let's go. I'm gonna put the players into groups, and we will start with the one who barely got to the pitch. First is Altay Bayındır. It was a short summer for him. Turkey lost their first 2 games and were out before the third one kicked off, including that 2-0 to Australia where they had 30 shots and didn't score any. Unfortunately, Bayındır had to watch all the game on the bench. It's actually nothing that he could do. There was not a lot to rate here. So I'm going to put NA for him. Next is Senne Lammens. Lammens had a brilliant first season at United, but then Portugal got caught up last minute for Belgium. That put Lammens onto the bench for the rest of the group stage. Belgium reached the quarterfinal against Spain. Lammens finally got his chance. Off the bench, replaced Couture's injured. But in the World Cup quarterfinal against a team that eventually won the whole thing, he made a mistake that led to the last goal. And honestly, I feel for him. I actually don't know what all the negative comments on Lammens came from. Just think about it, he's still a very young goalkeeper. Came on with 19 minutes left in the World Cup quarterfinal, a super intense game against Spain. Like, I can tell you that's not an easy job. And I actually think this is gonna make him. Everything he learned from those 90 minutes, he will take it all into the next season and will come back a lot stronger. I believe in you, Lammens. You're gonna have a long career ahead of you. Saying that, with his mistake that got Belgium kicked out in the quarterfinal, I'm gonna rate him 5 out of 10. Alright, Tyler Fletcher, academy graduate. He wasn't even in the squad to start with, but then got a late call up to replace the injured Billy Gilmore. And Scotland didn't do well at all. They drew Haiti, Morocco and Brazil and went home after the group stage. But I think for Fletcher, that's gonna be the summer that he never forget. Unfortunately, there's nothing to rate here for him, so I'm gonna put NA. And then we have Kobbie Mainoo. This is the one that I just didn't really understand. England went all the way to semi-final, 6-7 games, right? During the campaign, Jordan Henderson got injured. They were finished worried over Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson. Tuchel actually had every excuse to play Mainoo. Even just give him 5-10 minutes again, let's say Ghana or Panama. But what happened? 0. Not a single minute. I just can't get my head around it. He's not even a youngster. He already played so well at United and even featured in the previous European campaign with England. But Thomas Tuchel just looked at him for 6 weeks and say, nah, I'm alright. There must be something went wrong behind the scene between Tuchel and Mainoo. That's the only reason that I can think of. But anyway, Mainoo didn't play for any minutes, so I couldn't rate him either. Another NA for Mainoo.
Players never die, we getting paid. Another day, another dollar, playing my skate. Players never die, we getting paid.
First, let's talk about Ugarte. Manuel Ugarte went to this World Cup with a lot to prove. Started all 3 group games for Uruguay, which is more than he was getting at Old Trafford. And then, in the last game against Spain, he got injured, stretched off with his shirt pulled over his face. Uruguay lost 1-0 and went home after the group stage. Now we actually know it's a torn ACL. Best case recovery is gonna be 8 to 9 months. And look, I feel for him too. He just started to get his momentum back with the national team, and now this happened. Also, what it meant to United, we were expected to sell him this summer. That was the plan. I don't think it's going to happen anymore. So now we are stuck with an injured player who we have budgeted to move on, and eventually we lose him for at least half of the season. That's the money we can't reinvest and a player we can't use. It's a double hit, and worse, it landed when we need to rebuild our midfield. But anyway, let's get back to the rating. Based on his performance in this World Cup, I would give him 6 out of 10. Alright, Diogo Dalot. He played 36 games for United last season. Only 2 players that played more than him. And then he got to Portugal team, found Cancelo was ahead of him for the right back position, and spent most of the tournament as a versatile player, which is in football is a polite way to say we will use you if someone gets hurt. For that reason, I will rate Dalot 4 out of 10. Next, Marcus Rashford. He actually started this tournament in the best possible way, had a reasonably successful season at Barcelona, then scored in England's first game 4-2 win over Croatia, and then again Tuchel with his decision for the whole tournament. Rashford spent the rest of the World Cup on and off the bench. He was in and then out for the goalless Ghana game, then back in against Panama, where I think by all means he looks a lot more dangerous than Gordon. England went to the semi-final and lost 2-1 to Argentina, but then Rashford in for the third place against France. And again, I thought he did pretty well in that game. In general, I would say Rashford had a pretty good World Cup, but there's something that actually worried me when I looked at his heat map. His run was almost in one spot, the left wing corner high up the pitch. He didn't get back and do a lot of defensive work, and that worries me because if he does end up staying at United for this season, he's gonna play under Carrick's system, and this system will require him to work back, cover his fullback, and be part of the defensive shape when they don't have the ball. By the look at this heat map, I'm not very convinced he's gonna fit into the system. Anyway, decent tournament. So I'm gonna rate him 7 out of 10. Alright guys, since we're talking about Manchester United players, I want to show you something that I found. I was on Cold Kids the other day and they got a nice collection of vintage United shirts. Some of the 90s, especially look at this one. If you grew up watching that era, you know these are the favorites. I have the link in the description below, so if you want to check it out, feel free to do it. And if you grab anything from the website, you actually support the channel as well. Alright, let's get back to the video. Mazraoui had a proper tournament. Morocco finished second in the Group C behind Brazil, and I have to say Mazraoui played very well. He played wherever the coach asked him. He actually played at left back, which isn't even his position. The numbers actually say it all. Over 10 defensive contributions per game, including tackles, blocks, interceptions, and the lot. And 6.5 clearance per game on top. That's a fullback doing centre-back numbers every single game. Very impressive. And I'm very happy for him play so well at this World Cup. And I'm really looking forward to see more of him in the next season. So with all that, I'm gonna rate him 8 out of 10. Diallo came to this World Cup right off the back of the big AFCON successful campaign, and he carried it. He was one of the Ivory Coast key attackers, scored his first World Cup goal, and then finished second in Group E, matching Germany points, which nobody expected. And look at the number, 0.98 goal per game. Basically a goal every time he walks on the pitch. For a white player, that's a serious good number at this World Cup. And this is the thing that makes everyone scratch their head. Every time Ahmed put on his national shirt, he played as a completely different player. Very good campaign for Ahmed, so I rate him 8 out of 10. Now, this one has actually surprised me. I didn't think Cunha would be a big part of Brazil team this World Cup. Ancelotti didn't pick him for the opener. Then he got in and scored 3 goals in 2 starts, including his first ever World Cup goal against Haiti and one against Scotland. And there he was Brazil's most dangerous player alongside Vinicius. But came the Norway game, Cunha won the penalty and Guimaraes missed it. Ancelotti took Cunha off and Brazil's attack just stopped existing. And I have one more thing to mention. If you look at his heat map throughout the tournament, he was actually everywhere. Both wings dropping deep, out of the touch lines, into the channels, back helping his midfield. That's a player who works for his team every time he steps on the pitch. The goals and the work rate, I would say Cunha probably one of our best performers at this World Cup. So I rate him 9 out of 10. Now on to the last group, the big two. First is Bruno Fernandes. So Bruno arrived at this World Cup as maybe the best player in England. 21 Premier League assists, a new record, Footballer of the Year, Player of the Season, our captain, our best player, carrying the whole club for years. But then Portugal's tournament was a bit strange. They drew with Colombia, Congo, and didn't top their group. Bruno was good, but in a team with a full superstar midfielders, I feel like sometimes he had to do the dirty work, put in some tackles, play with a little bit of attitude, but then, hey, that's Bruno. And to be honest, I didn't see any standout performance in that Portugal team for the whole World Cup anyway. Then they got knocked out by Spain, the eventual champions, so there's no shame in that. In general, I think Bruno did his job, but this Portugal team never seemed to click. For that, I rate him 7 out of 10. And we finished with the man who came the closest. 12 months ago, if you can remember, Martinez was in a knee brace. Serious injury, long rehab, and no guarantee he's gonna be ready for the World Cup. But then he made it. He got into Scolari's squad and played every single game throughout the tournament until the final. In the round of 32 against Cape Verde, he scored and assisted as a centre-back. I mean, it wasn't flawless. Against Egypt, he was at fault for both their goals, and his positioning got picked apart. But Argentina still relied on him a lot for his match reading and line breaker passes. Also, I have to mention that across the whole World Cup, he made more clearances than any of the Argentina players. And the worst thing happened at the 44th minute. He went down in his own box, signaled straight away that he couldn't continue. And I'll be honest with you, my heart sank in that moment. Not because of the final, but because of the situation. When you look at his injuries history, cruciate ligament injury in 2025, long rehab, comeback, and last season he only managed 19 appearances for United because of the calf injury. And now he's grabbing his leg in the World Cup final. I mean, come on. If you watch him this whole tournament, you can see how good he is. He's a brilliant player. There's no question about it. Personally, I think it's a bit too soon for him. Coming back from his injury, then going straight into this World Cup at this intensity, this many games cramped into a few weeks and barely any recovery between them. That is a huge ask for a body like him. And now I'm really worried that we're gonna have a defender who's about to spend a lot of time in rehab next season instead of playing. Saying all that, he's the only United player who went the furthest in this World Cup. I have to give him 9 out of 10. So there it is. 12 players, 9 countries, 1 final, and some who never got off the bench. I hope you enjoyed this video and let me know in the comments if I got the ratings right. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video. I will see you in the next one.
Change still the same, running things in my lane, play the game, gotta reign. everything. Know I gotta back it up, cause I talk a big game, cause I can back it up. I put my money where my mouth is, then I stack it up. I talk a big game, cause I can back it up. I put my money where my mouth is, then I stack it up. Big game, 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 big game. Oh, look, I don't play no games, I got no time for talking. I'm gonna talk a big game, I ain't got no options,